We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race. We hold it tight in every space, making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last. Making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. And let me pause because people might say, why am I so excited about this topic? And I'm a single woman, but I'm excited about this topic because I don't think it's a topic we talk about often enough, which is sex. Yes. And where I'm from and how I'm socialized, we almost would want to think that if we want to talk about it, it is such a bad thing. But today we're going to be unpacking expanding sexual intimacy. We're going to be doing that with Kingsley Moyo. I'm going to hope I pronounce that last name
You
properly.
got it right.
Beautiful. He's a marriage and family therapist. He's a certified sex therapist. He's also a doctoral candidate for clinical psychology, and he's the founder and clinical director of Life Collective. And this is a counseling organization that specializes in relationship and sex therapy. Welcome, Kingsley.
Thank you so much for having me, Noreen.
All right. Before we get into the topic, what does it mean to be a certified sex therapist?
That's a very good question. So there is a process whereby you have to take certain classes, broaden your scope, and deepen your understanding of sexual wellness. In my process, it took me about 18 months to
Okay.
be trained, going through some training, and there's also some supervision. So there's a supervisor whom you work with to consult your cases, to kind of helping you zone in on your skill. And then afterwards, when you've completed those 8 months of supervision and training, seeing couples, a certain number of couples, people with varying presenting concerns that may be low desire, painful sex, erectile dysfunction, sexual trauma, you name it. And then at the end of that, then you can be certified. The organization I'm certified through is ASECT. They are one of few that have they're kind of like the gold standard, at least in North America, for being certified as a sex therapist.
Okay. What created this interest? And I'm asking because everything else that you said in terms of family therapists, I've had several on over the years that I've been doing this, but I don't think I've ever had a certified sex therapist. So what triggered this? Why this particular area?
So I used to pastor in a church, and one of the things that I saw a lot was I preaching was part of it, but a good
Okay.
chunk of what I did in my role was counseling people. They're counseling
Okay.
people making decisions for work, family. It was predominantly counseling role, and I wasn't really trained in counseling. I was trained as a theologian.
Okay.
So that's what I knew. I knew how to parse Hebrew, Greek, preach, teach,
Okay.
do Bible study. But when you get into the field, you do something that you're not necessarily trained in. You can do biblical counseling, but which is different from clinical counseling. So I started the journey with marriage and family therapy. So I can
Okay.
sit with individuals, depression, anxiety, couples. Some things there's power in prayer, but some things we can't only pray over them. We need to send them over to somebody who has expertise. Just like if somebody comes and says, I have a sore tooth, we don't
Mm-hmm.
pray over the tooth, we send them to a dentist. So I figured since this is what I do a lot, why don't I get trained in marriage and family therapy?
Okay.
So I got trained in that. Then I discovered, you know what? While being trained in this is a topic that we don't talk about.
Mm.
Don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex. And when you get married, have sex. The silence. So I
Mm.
said, you know what? I'm going to be equipped in all the areas that I feel like there is no exposure. So that started the journey on that path
Mm-hmm.
and really became what I built my practice around to specialize in relationship issues and sex therapy.
Okay, okay. Which then is a nice segue then into what we're going to be unpacking, the whole idea of sexual intimacy. So for you, what does that mean? Is sexual intimacy only physical?
Um, so I'd like to think of it in four buckets. We'll probably unpack these four buckets.
Okay,
So intimacy comes in four buckets. One, there's spiritual intimacy.
okay.
Two, there's physical intimacy, which often can also include sex,
Mm-hmm.
but not only limited to sex. So
Okay.
there's spiritual, physical, there's emotional intimacy, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's intellectual intimacy. All of these buckets in a relationship needs to be filled up in order for the relationship to maintain some form of equilibrium. So we'll unpack those. So we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
emotional safety, felt connection, emotional attunement, and a sense of feeling like you're known by your partner in a relationship.
Okay. Well, let's get right into it then. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, which one do you
Mm-hmm.
want to start with? Let's start with the emotional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let me slow it down here. Um, um, Let me let you lead a little bit here so I can kind of flow with you because
Okay,
I
so
get
hold on.
excited with this stuff.
All right, fine, not a problem. So remind me, you said emotional, intellectual. What's the other two?
Physical and
Physical
spiritual.
and spiritual. Okay, and of course, all of these then feed into sexual intimacy.
Yes. So
Okay,
sexual intimacy in itself sits in the physical bucket,
okay, okay,
but it's not only limited to the physical bucket.
okay. All right. So we're gonna get to that one last. So let's start
Yes.
with emotional.
Emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So emotional is really about sharing fears, hopes, or personal stories. This is really about really you're trying to ascertain three things. If I go to my partner, will my partner take in what I'm sharing with me, celebrate me, get curious about what I'm saying, and really sit with me? That's emotional intimacy. Can I share and sit in the difficult emotions? Say, if I go to my partner and say,
Mm,
I'm feeling not good enough, or I'm feeling
mm,
sad,
mm.
I'm feeling unwanted, can my partner hold that space and continue to engage me? So
Okay.
I can go to my partner and my partner can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I go to my partner will say, don't do that. And often well-meaning as
Mm-hmm.
couples, we tend to say, no, don't think that. Don't be like that. Don't go there. You know you were awesome. You know you were great, but we're dismissing that emotional attunement or turning
Mm-hmm.
towards for
Mm-hmm.
intimacy. So
Okay.
you go to your partner says, hey, what's going on? I'm with you, talk me through. Or you go to your partner says, no, don't do that. They can dismiss it or well-meaning and saying, don't be like that. Or you can't even go to your partner and tell them, you know what? I've been arguing with my brother and things are not going well.
Mm.
Just keep it to yourself. Because if you keep go to them, they'll say, I told you about your brother. I told you
Yeah.
about your sister. That's
Yeah.
what your family always does to you. So in the end, you're just like, you know what? Um, I'm not gonna go there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
essentially emotional intimacy. We
Mm-hmm.
also want to highlight that there is a brain process that happens with emotional intimacy.
Okay.
There's oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone that's released when we have this emotional intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And when that is released, we tend to bond and deepen our bond with our partner. There's also the prefrontal cortex, which is your regulation. It creates safety and meaning when you lean towards. It tells you you are safe. You can continue to do this. You can continue
Okay.
to. So that's
Okay.
deep.
And we could actually, I'm sure we could spend the entire episode on
Oh,
just that one,
yeah,
but you know,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
sending people to go do some research as well. Let's go
yeah.
to the intellectual.
So intellectual intimacy is about deep
Mm-hmm.
conversation. The key
Okay.
word there is curiosity. So you have shared curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
ideas, problems. If you're discussing politics,
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about how to change your home, you can banter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sense of feeling challenged by your partner, not necessarily that you both have to be at the same intellect level in knowing things, but you can have
Mm-hmm.
conversation. And
Okay.
some people tend to fear this because they feel like, well, I can't talk to you about this because you are a NASA scientist and I'm I'm just a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's not quite so. The questions you ask, the curiosity, just being curious about that. So that's the intellectual intimacy. Again, your brain, there's a dopamine, the reward interest portion
Mm-hmm.
um, activated. So you bond closer in how you connect with each other. You create neural pathways in your brain that say, hey, you know what? I can go to my partner and talk about anything, and we can just
Mm-hmm.
sit in that intellectual intimacy.
Mm-hmm. And spiritual?
Spiritual intimacy, this could vary. For some people, spiritual refers to going to church together, studying the Bible together, or praying
Mm-hmm.
together. For some people, it's meditating.
Okay.
For some people, it's having practices that allow them to go to nature and just to be in nature. It's all about meaning making, purpose, the grander things of life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
shared purpose and values. More often, when people are going to church together, they have a shared purpose. We worship God, we study
Mm-hmm.
the Bible together. So there's this meaning making of shared purpose and value with spiritual intimacy. Another way for it is value based intimacy. Do we
Okay.
share similar values? You will not share 100% similar, but it certainly will be close enough.
Okay. So this now then feeds into physical, which is where we're gonna, dig a little deeper. So in terms of physical intimacy.
Yeah, so the physical intimacy, this is where you're talking about the touch, the holding
Mm-hmm.
hands, the cuddles, sitting
Mm-hmm.
close, going on a walk and holding hands. This has more to skin contact. We
Okay.
know that physical intimacy deepen slightly more with different individuals in your life. With your coworkers, a handshake. This is what they have access to, the palm of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's some physical intimacy that you can have. With
Mm-hmm.
your partner, it's beyond the handshake. They can
Right.
touch under your armpit, your breast, and other body parts and all that stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
also has a different impact. With those who have friendships. They
Mm-hmm.
can hug, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't have access to certain parts. But with a intimate partner, they have access to certain body parts that no one else has access to.
Mm-hmm.
Again, oxytocin releases when there's skin to skin contact, that bonding hormone,
Mm-hmm.
and cortisol, which is a stress hormone. I kid you not, there's a study that says that people who are married
Mm-hmm.
no, live
Mm-hmm.
longer than people who are single. Why? Because of this physical, or these buckets rather, because there is this reduction of stress hormone cortisol in relationship. The body experiences connection before the mind explains it.
Okay. So you're telling us our single people are gonna die early if we don't get married. But okay.
Hey,
All
hey, hey,
right.
that's what the science is. I don't know about you, nerd.
Okay. All right. So can intimate partners be sexually intimate without being physical, or is it one and the same?
100% so.
Okay.
Intimate partners can have intimacy without being sexually intimate. We're talking about
Okay.
P and V, penis and vagina here.
Okay.
It doesn't always need to occur. The
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate part, our social construct, our society has
Mm-hmm.
only reduced the definition of sexual intimacy or sex just to those body parts rubbing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because we follow along, and so if it is not happening, it causes conflict,
Mm-hmm.
tension, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's all we know. And for
Mm-hmm.
those who have engaged in pornography and all these other things, all of those things teach behavior. They teach behavior.
Mm.
What do you do? Not necessarily how do you connect.
Ah, okay.
And even when friends are talking, they talk about behavior. They don't talk about the emotional intimacy part of it. They don't talk about the intellectual intimacy that contributes into that. So the answer is yes, you can
Mm-hmm.
definitely have that and experience that. But I should qualify. We
Mm-hmm.
know from research that in any intimate couple, you do need to have sex at least once a month in order to continue to maintain a relationship that is not just we're just friends.
Okay, okay. I'm only okay. So with all of this though, are is it that somebody should understand from this conversation is that for you to expand sexual intimacy, you have to make sure that all of these other buckets are literally poured into, which is emotional, intellectual, and the spiritual.
Yes, yes. So they have to be poured into. Give an example. If you are a couple
Mm-hmm.
One person goes to work. Maybe you trade shifts. One person goes in the morning from 8 till 4 o'clock. The other person comes leaves for work at 3 o'clock or at five
Mm-hmm.
o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other person comes in at 11 at night. You don't have the privilege to be able to connect and
Right.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
In some circumstances for families, it is what it is, to be able to survive and to live.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can actually go to work at the same time, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. They come home, one person cooks, and you don't have these deeper conversation. And then at night,
Mm-hmm.
you want to expect to have sexual intimacy. You're doing a disservice to your relationship because you're missing an opportunity that you could have allowed for your intimacy to go deeper.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Kingsley Moyo. I am a ASIC certified sex therapist, marriage and family therapist, a doctoral candidate in clinical psychology. I am a somatic trauma experiencing certified practitioner. In our conversation today, we are talking about the four buckets of intimacy, expanding sexual intimacy. How do you get to enjoy intimacy without what we know as sex in our relationships? But before we do that, we're going to take a break and hear from our partners and our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Langdo Language Institute was created to meet your language and communication needs. All of our packages were created just for you. We are passionate about language and dedicated to your success. We offer the CSEC English program, the Study Body program, the Get Ahead with English program, and the Business Communication program. Contact us at 767-285-0938 or email us at landolanguage@gmail.com, because the real question is, how can we help you?
Have you not yet booked Miss Noreen Daily for your events? Are you crazy? Miss Noreen Daily is the best at watching. Well, let me tell you a little more. I handpicked her for a conflict resolution webinar, and she demonstrated exactly what a host should do when hosting. Hello, somebody. She was the life of it all. She did not leave any dead ear even when we had technical difficulties. She's just merely the best. And if you know book her yet, you're crazy. Run go book Miss Noreen Daily right now.
What does a new you look like? It begins with intention, with choosing growth over fear and truth over comfort. But growth requires protection. In a world that profits from noise, peace becomes an act of resistance. Clarity doesn't come from more information. It comes from knowing what to let go, from choosing focus in a distracted world. And when clarity settles in, something powerful happens. You remember your voice, not the one shaped by fear, but the one rooted in truth. The one that speaks, creates, challenges, and refuses to disappear. This is what we believe in, that voices matter, that stories matter, and that independent thought is the foundation of freedom. This is more than media. This is a movement. This message is brought to you by the Daily Communicator, NoreenDaily.com, and NSound Media, nsoundmedia.com.
Thank you for being here to hang out with us. Welcome back.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race.
So it should not only be relegated to the weekend. And some people actually use their kids as a way of creating or pouring into those four buckets. No, there's time for the kids to be there and have intellectual intimacy and all those others, but there's something that needs to be just left for just you and your partner just to deepen that part.
Okay. I guess that then would explain why it is that sometimes some females will say that. That's probably why sometimes it ends up being painful. Because if it is that they're not fully relaxed and not, fully lubricated, it will be
Right.
painful. And that could be because in their mind, they don't feel as connected.
Yeah, yeah. The interesting thing is there's something
Mm-hmm.
called responsive arousal and
Mm-hmm.
instantaneous arousal. Instantaneous arousal is when an individual is ready to go for sex, right away, right away.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take long. If you touch any private part, they're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
80 plus, 80 or so percent of men are instantaneously aroused.
Okay.
80% of women are responsive
Mm-hmm.
aroused, meaning it takes some time. It's either a conversation. If I'm still thinking about the kids being put to bed and the chores, I am not going to get aroused. So because of that, it becomes painful. The body actually, the vaginal canal actually changes shape in preparation for penetration. If it's
Mm-hmm.
not aroused, that's why the angles become painful. It's not lubricated and it just doesn't work well. It's also true that some men are actually responsive aroused.
Mm-hmm.
It takes them a while to be able to get there. Going a little bit deeper around these two nuances, even when a person is aroused,
Mm-hmm.
it can easily take about 7 to 20 minutes for a woman for blood flow to go to the pelvic floor, for
Mm-hmm.
everything to be engorged and properly relaxed. And guess how long it takes for a male to go there? 60
Minutes.
seconds.
Whoa.
60
Okay.
seconds unless they're erect and aroused and ready to go. So, and guess how long it takes for a male to be able to finish? On average, 3 to 4 minutes, unless if they've mastered and learned how to regulate themselves. And for women to finish to get to climax, it's at 7 to 20 minutes.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's frustrating for
Wow.
couples because if they're not
Wow.
getting intellectual intimacy, emotional intimacy, and all the other intimacy, and the partner just wants to deposit into the physical intimacy and it's not feeling right, that's where we get low desire.
Hmm. 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 I mean, how then or what then would you recommend to just couples in general, especially younger couples? And I'll tell you why I'm saying younger couples. Because one of the things that you said earlier, and especially when you grow up in a church setting where all you hear is you're not supposed to engage in premarital sex. So you wait until you're married. So
Mhm.
then you hear all along no sex, but then once you get married, you're supposed to be having sex. And then there's a disconnect.
Yes.
So, what would be your advice, especially somebody younger couples who that's what they've been socialized, but then they know that sex is supposed to be pleasurable, but they have to be going against somewhat what
hmm
they've been
hmm
taught.
hmm I, I I think we want to name that as a community before even
Mm-hmm.
the church, as people, we haven't done justice to the topic of sex and talking about it in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't done justice in talking about it in the church.
Mm-hmm.
A simple thing of, I could kid you not, how many times have you in the church had anyone talk about or name anatomy in the church, like a penis or saying a vagina? Almost never for some
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And these are parts that are created by God.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some weird names for it. We call some vaginas your bum. I've heard some weird names.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to go back to that grade 4 class where we
Mm.
talk about anatomy and name it for what it is. Number one, what's key important around that is it also helps us deal with sexual abuse, sexual
True,
assault
true,
because the
true.
subject is silent, more often stereotyping it. Women get oftenly sexual abuse and they can't talk about it. They don't even tell their moms
Yeah.
because we do not talk about this
Mm-hmm.
subject.
True,
So as a starting
true,
point,
true.
create conversations whereby we can talk about these
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Create conversations where we can engage about these things. It's interesting. In the Bible, God refers to sex as the flame of Yahweh. Like it's so burning, it cannot be quenched.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think we ought to talk about this flame of Yahweh. Name it for what it
What it
is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's number one,
Mm-hmm.
engaging in conversation about it. We need to stop engaging in sex after marriage as an experimental process. There is a part of exploration, but not as an experimental, meaning we would have been taught what does this part do? How does it change over the lifespan?
Mm-hmm.
In women, there is a body part, a clitoris, that serves no other purpose except sexual pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But how many men have been taught what it is, how to attend to it? Um, Even some women don't even know. If asked, I sit with couples often in my sessions, and they would ask each other, "What do you like?" They would say, "I don't know."
Wow.
And this is a part that's designed. It has 10,000 nerve endings. The male counterpart is has 4,000 nerve endings. And guess there's something we call an orgasm gap. Men are
Mm-hmm.
6 times
Mm-hmm.
likely to reach orgasms than
Than
women do.
females, yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's really unfair. If a woman has a part that has a 10,000 nerve endings, that's purely dedicated to orgasm. Why is it that they're not experiencing more pleasure than male counterparts do? So there's a gap there
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be explored. And I think families in the church can create places for you to be able to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't have to wait to marriage. This can occur before. Older women mentoring young women, older men
Mm-hmm.
mentoring young men, and creating that opportunity, celebrating that, hey, you know what? God created this thing. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's make it work. How do we talk about it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think too, outside the conversation is that for some older folks to recognize that it is okay to have these conversations with our young people. Because if when you
Yeah.
don't have the conversations, then they find the knowledge elsewhere.
Absolutely. And the sources they will find it. Whew, yeah. I guess we
Yeah.
want to name that there is shame
Mm-hmm.
around the whole subject.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the older generation may feel some shame. We don't talk about that. It's for the bedroom.
Yeah.
Um, and so there is generational healing that needs to occur.
Yeah. 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 Well, hopefully conversations like these can happen more often. So
Indeed.
as we're wrapping up, if you had to describe a three-step process for couples specifically to expand their sexual intimacy, what would that three-step process be?
Step one, take a paper, draw a box, and divide that box into 4 squares. And in each of those boxes, put down spiritual as a heading, and another box, put down emotional as a heading, and another box, put down intellectual, and another box, put down physical. And then ask each other, hey, how do I fill this bucket for you? Just expanding that so beyond the physical. How do I fill this bucket for you? Um, that's that's number one, being
Mm-hmm.
able to feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, couples have great sex when there is a context for it. If one
Mm-hmm.
person is going to bed at 8 p.m. and one person goes to bed at 11 p.m., that's not a good context for sex. If one partner has to do all the chores and the other partner
Mm-hmm.
comes in and just enjoys in
Mm-hmm.
on what's been done, that's not a good
Mm-hmm.
context. If
Mm-hmm.
one partner has back pain or has medical issues, or struggling with mental health, that's not a context for good sex to happen. So ask yourself, what is it? What are the ways that we can create a context for sex to happen? You know what? Maybe let's go get medical attention.
Mm-hmm.
Let the kids to grandmas, because we want to create a context for sex to happen. If we don't have that context, it's not just going to show up from nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Step three.
Step three, there is no definition given anywhere of what sex is. For those who are Christian, the Bible only says to know. That's as
Mm,
much as it says. So, which
okay.
means that as couples, there is an exploration as long as it aligns with your values and everything. There is it's a huge field for you to explore. It doesn't have to be done one way. Agree, consent. Hey, how can we enjoy each other? How can you enjoy me? Um, so go ahead and explore. Whatever floats your boat, go for it, as long as it aligns with your values. If you're noticing discomfort in your body, that's tightness in your chest, stomach, and everything else, it's telling you this doesn't align with your values. So go ahead and explore. I tell couples when I do some of these workshops and seminars that um, if you are a couple in a committed relationship, if you are not using the clitoris, you are wasting it because that's what it was meant for. Go ahead, have fun, explore.
Thanks for sharing, Kingsley.
Thank you so much, Noreen.
This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race. We hold it tight in every space, making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last. Making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last.